Yeah! Yeah! We're back. I don't know what that was.
Wow, that was a lot.
I'm feeling a little amped today.
I'm still tweeting the thing.
I'm feeling a little amped today, man. We're back. Episode 8. We're rolling. For those of you that avidly follow us on Twitch, we're 38 minutes late now. I apologize. That is my fault as usual. But we're back. We're at 'em. Before we start, can I just talk about last week's episode?
Yeah, what was last week's episode?
Am I allowed to talk about that? First of all, I would just like to point out here's, and we talked after the podcast.
We did.
We had to fuel or fan some flames, but here's the problem with last week's podcast. Last week's podcast, we had told you to like give us an example, and you like you refused to just give an example. So I want to ask you legit, do you know the scientific method?
We talked about it after that in the living room.
So the scientific method is like you come up with a hypothesis, and then you research the hypothesis, and then you defend the hypothesis. So what you did was you just made a hypothesis and then said it was true. So that's all. I have no issue being wrong because I am wrong in our arguments, and you can attest to this. I'm wrong most of the time, and that's fine. I'm okay being wrong, but just play the game right. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong, just like you didn't. It just wasn't the game. You refused for 45 minutes.
But Ryan, what if we weren't wrong?
I'm not gonna reopen this, Guilherme. I'm not gonna do it.
Right. So let me go through the events of that night.
And then let me go through the events of right now. And then I'll go through the events of right now. Okay.
It was a shit show. Right. I called my mom. She thoroughly enjoyed the show. She watched. Called my grandma. She thoroughly enjoyed the show. She watched. Both of them were like, Chris is dead wrong. And then my dad, who is a chef, wrong. They're two different things. You prepare. It's two different dishes. And then Chris called his father, Deacon Bob, without missing a beat. So Chris was like, "Hey, Dad, would you consider a soup a stew?" Without missing a beat, he's like, "No." Why? And then it was funny because he's like, "Are you making a stew? What kind of stew are you making?" It's like, no point. And then he called Daniel, brother.
My brother Dan.
No hesitation on the same beat. Hey, is stew a soup? No.
And let me tell you.
And then Chris is like, all right, I gotta go, and then hung up on them.
Because that's Chris's MO, is when he's wrong he just hangs up. But that's besides the point. Right. Chris, go ahead with your.
And then he said, he's like, you know what? He switched teams later that night. So now you say what you want to say, because last I heard you were on the other team.
I did switch teams, and then something happened. My Twitter poll came back. One of the most successful polls I've ever ran. 28 votes. 28 votes. Yeah. Ryan, you voted 3 times for one account, and you rigged the election.
Hold on, everyone stop. Hold on. That's false information. I didn't vote 3 times from one account. I voted 3 times from 3 separate accounts.
Right, but one 3 votes.
3 votes, correct.
So you rigged the election in your favor, supposedly. And the yeses still came up on top by 72%. 28 votes, 72% of the people said yes, a stew is a soup. And then I had this realization, and I said to myself, I said like this. I said, C-Rod, you know what, C-Rod? And I said, what's up, man? And I said, life's too short. Stew's a soup, baby. You know what I mean? It's too short. Who gives a shit? Stew's a soup. Life's too short.
I want to know who these people are.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to ask them other general knowledge questions, because obviously they don't know.
That's why.
Here's the other thing too. So I could not even vote my own poll. So that would have been at least one more vote in the affirmative. I couldn't even vote because I made the poll.
Right.
So.
Well, it is what it is. I don't want to rehash. I just wanted to point that out. I have no problem losing an argument because I lose many arguments. That's fine.
Including.
Whatever. Besides the point. But I just, for the next argument we have, C-Rod, can you just follow the scientific method?
I'll follow the scientific method if you guys don't put fucking words in my mouth.
Well, we're not going to argue that.
All I'm saying is my dad is a professional in this field and gave like not Gordon Ramsay, but in the same field, and he gave his answer. So would you take music advice from a fucking, I don't know, not a musician?
That's a good point.
Okay, let's move on. Anyway,
that's a good point. Anyway, well, before I do that, Chris, how's Bill doing, man? Is Bill all right?
Who's Bill?
Bill Cosby. He wants his sweater back, dude.
Ooh, yikes.
What's going on, man? What is that?
It's a sweater, bro. What's wrong with the sweater?
Dude,
You don't like it?
it looks like Bill Cosby wore it like before all that stuff went down.
No. What? No. This is a me sweater. It's not a Bill Cosby sweater.
That is a Bill Cosby sweater, man.
I actually got
it
it.
is. Ryan, you're not wrong.
True story about the sweater. I got it. There was a student in my band at Gardens who wore the sweater to school one day, and I was like, "Hey, I really like that sweater." And like a week later, Adrian Alexander in a little bag gave me the sweater. I was like, "Dope, thank you, Adrian Alexander. I appreciate it."
That's
It's
awesome.
a great sweater.
I love
It was even better before the whole thing.
Before the whole thing. I'm not hating on the sweater. It's like very Bill Cosby. I don't know.
Didn't own sweaters. You know what I mean? Like sweaters are like fashion.
Right.
He also wore shoes.
Right.
Yeah, but
his thing.
But like his thing was sweaters. His thing was like crazy sweaters.
Specifically ones that look like that.
Yeah. Well, this is my sweater.
So moving topics again. So I just had my virtual band banquet. Chris, are you doing a virtual band banquet?
No.
No. So let me tell you how it went. The virtual band banquet was essentially all of my marching kids because, that's just what it is. And it was actually, I think, pretty successful. I don't want to like blow it out too much, but I thought it was going to be a train wreck because A, it's me.
Yeah.
And then B, when it started very similar to 3 weeks ago on our podcast, where I was
muted right now.
I was talking. No, we're not muted, but I was talking for like 5 minutes. I was talking. Thank you for coming. It's been such a great year. I'm so proud of everyone. Blah blah blah. And I'm going, and like everyone's kind of just doing their own thing, and then someone plays bop 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 beep bop 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 bop, and I was like kind of mad. I was like, dude, I'm talking. And then I'm like, oh, that was funny, haha, good joke, way to go. And then that kid didn't say anything, and he normally would have said something.
Yeah.
And I look at my board, and I'm muted.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna make the joke and a little jab at you, be like, oh, but did you run audio? Guess you didn't.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't. I was so focused. I was so focused on like. So there was like a senior video, which made me cry, of course, because I'm just like a pansy, I guess. Made me cry.
Normal.
So I was more focused on like making sure that sound worked, and like now I'm actually using the board, so I had to mute my mic and then keep this up, and then I was also running like Spotify as people came into the virtual room. So then everything just happened. I muted this, and then I never unmuted my mic. It was crazy. So for 5 minutes of this virtual banquet was just like awkward. People just like looking at my mouth moving, being like, "What is this guy doing?"
Also, kind of fucked up. No one told you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like no one typed like, "Hey Ross, you're muted."
No one had your back.
They had to like play Angels in the Architecture to be like, "Hey, you idiot."
Right.
So really, turntables. You were mad at that kid. He saved
the whole banquet.
Minutes.
He saved the whole banquet.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was good, man.
You wore pants and everything.
Well, I wore sweatpants.
Let's go.
But I wore like, this is exactly where I sat. So like no one, I mean, I wore like a suit jacket and a bow tie and a shirt, but like I wore like a Adidas like 3-stripe, whatever they're called. But you know what, man? Like, Chris, and I don't know if you feel this way because you're kind of new to your school, and you kind of, to be honest, you kind of miss like a big portion of the school year.
Yeah,
because of this. But like,
spring contest, a big deal.
Just like seeing like, the kids again, and like kind of seeing them like interact, and like my staff was on the call, and like the guard was talking to the guard instructor, and all that. It was just like, man, this whole thing sucks. COVID sucks.
Yeah.
And like, at least we got to end on this note.
Yeah.
Trademarked. So it was good. It was just like, of course, technology failed, but
well, did technology fail?
Okay, user error.
Yeah.
User error. But no, man, it was awesome, and I had a great time. That video got me. That video got me.
That's totally normal. I mean, I'm not a director. I'm just a tech, but I miss all those kids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
I
yeah,
wish
for sure.
I was there. Even we were there. We're only there for a year. We didn't even get a full year with the seniors, but I'm gonna miss all of them. Hopefully they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to end the year.
Yeah, I have an idea. Kayla gave me an idea, like how to include like bringing the seniors back for like the last song of next year's concert.
Mm-hmm.
But like that, if they're around and they still play, like pick something easy, you know what I mean? But it was great. It was a good experience. I would not recommend doing it every year because obviously that would mean we're in quarantine. But it was still good, and I'm repping now.
How did you run the banquet? So you ran it through Zoom, and did you just like announce awards and you like email the kids something, or like did you have like some setup already there to hand them the award? And,
I spent all day doing this PowerPoint of like awards, and it was on Google Meet. So I presented my screen and I said I did classroom awards, guard awards, and then marching band awards. And I just presented my screen and just went through best, most improved music, boom, best, and just went through. I don't know if I'm gonna mail them anything because it wasn't really a certificate. It was just
just like a little power. Well, that's fine, yeah.
So but I the only thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna mail my kid his John Philip Sousa award.
Okay.
The kid that won that, I'm gonna mail it to him.
Yeah. That's cool.
So, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sure you'll like email them like the PowerPoint presentation or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna email like the video and the PowerPoint presentation, and it'll be fine. But it ran pretty well. I got some parent feedback, and they thought it was great, and
good. So you guys are officially in Palm Beach. You guys are shut down like officially through the summer, right?
Correct. Yeah. So go ahead.
I was gonna say because in Brevard, we're only shut down in June, so they're still gonna reassess like late June, early July, and make a decision on July. So for us, even like our graduation hasn't been canceled yet. Our graduation is on July 18th. Like they postponed it to July 18th. So there's still a chance, at least in Brevard, that they're at least thinking or hoping that they might do a graduation ceremony. It might be socially distanced, but it'll be something. And if they're going to open the schools up for that, then what I would try to do is like, and maybe you can do this too, like try to fucking have like some sort of picnic or something, or some sort of like low key get together. You bring the buns, you bring the hot dogs, your mom makes baked beans, whatever. We're going to be at this beach. You know what I mean? Something.
Yeah.
So that's I guess that's my plan on that. But it's just because Brevard hasn't shut everything down yet.
Well, technically Palm Beach isn't shut down. They're just not allowing summer camps.
Right.
So
you can have you can't have in-person stuff though.
Right. I have been told that as soon as because sports practices aren't camps. They're called like 2-a-day camp, whatever. Yeah. Like, but they're not like, the purpose of that was there are people sending their kids to Palm Beach County camps.
Right. Like day camps and
like
stuff.
Day camp, like tennis camp. Let's learn like that. Okay, fine. Yeah. But as soon as the football team is allowed to practice, which I have a feeling it's going to be around July, we're going to be back on campus as well.
That's good.
So we'll see. And actually, we're starting our first band camp next 2 weeks. Not this Monday, the next Monday.
Nice.
Virtual. So I don't know how that's going to go. If it's anything like the banquet, it should be fine. But
right.
How would that work? Like, what is your plan? Sounds interesting.
So my plan it kind of sucks. So because of COVID, I have to cut the budget, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to be honest, our fees are way too high. So cutting the budget is going to help me in the long run anyway, get more kids. But so what I have to do is I have to bring on more clinicians with a lower budget. Mm-hmm. So for example, the flutes are going to have their teacher for the band camp. And for an hour and a half to 2 hours, they're going to work in a master class setting where they're going to have the music in front of them. The teacher's going to say, okay, we're going to go over slurs and scales number 1. Okay, go ahead. Why don't you take 5 minutes of practice to turn off your camera if you want. Boom, they'll take 5 minutes. She'll come back on and say, hey, all right, let's go. Flute player A, you're on. and then she'll hear flute player A. The others can probably play if they mute their mics, but one-on-one, okay, well, here's what you're doing. Make sure we're fixing our blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be more of a masterclass one-on-one private lesson type deal than a group thing. I don't really know how to do a group thing because of the latency.
It's impossible.
But I mean,
that's why I was wondering.
I mean, the whole reason that there's a individual judge is, in theory, if the individual players are good, the ensemble will be good.
Right.
In theory, I guess. So we're focusing on the individual side, and then hopefully we can put the larger thing together later.
You're only as strong as your weakest link, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I mean, I had to hire like 6 extra techs just to do these virtual band camps. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. It's probably gonna make a couple kids more nervous, but also better in the end, because you can't. There is no point where it's like, okay, everybody play this together.
Right.
It's all gonna be individual.
Yeah, I feel bad for the freshmen coming in because they're just like, what is happening?
Yeah, think how good they'll be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree at all. I'm just very nervous that how this is gonna work.
How long is it gonna last? Like a full week?
The first one's 4 days. So the first one is laid out rookies and leadership. So that way the leadership's kind of helping the rookies out through the thing, and it's 4 days, and then the next camp is 5 days.
Okay.
And I have 4 camps overall, so it's 4 days, 5 days, 5 days, 5 days.
Right.
Yeah, man. We had a different. I don't know if Chris, you want to talk about it. We had like a different idea if we were gonna do that. Not like a camp per se, but like record like videos on like technique and just send it out like per instrument, because I mean we have the whole band room open, nobody has an instrument. We would take one of each and just record like, this is how you hold set, this is how you roll step, this is how, and like just me and Chris do it individually in the parking lot and just now do this.
Yeah. The same's gonna go with visual. It's gonna be like small section stuff. I have like 5 vision techs, and they're just gonna take a section and work with them, I guess. I don't know, but we'll see.
So then I guess at one time you're gonna have like 5 or 6 different Google chats going on at the same time.
Yeah, well,
you could be able to pop in to them as you need to.
Yeah. So Google Classroom has been awesome through this whole pandemic. Because now, so I have like 18 different Google Classrooms for this upcoming year. I have the main Spirit of Jupiter one. I have SOJ flutes, SOJ clarinets, SOJ saxes, and each of their techs is going to be in that class. Gotcha. I'm just going to start them all, and then they're just going to run it.
Gotcha.
So
it's not a bad idea, man.
Yeah, we'll see, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Guilherme, that was funny.
He's just
I have to be over here. If you're trying to sit I have to be over here.
I just typed in the chat, please sit in front of in the middle of the frame. He's like in the bottom left corner in the dark.
Just lounging. Just lounging.
Then set up a camera to lounge.
But okay, but
if I'm like the camera in the middle.
So I'm gonna be like this.
I'm gonna do the whole podcast from down here.
I'm listening down here, but see, like now if I get Anthony excited, I'm like, well, let me tell you what I really think. Now I'm out of frame even worse. So I have to be like ready for the amps.
So just sit in the middle the whole time.
No, so I got the This is called directing. This is called camera angle. So I'm here in the amp position. It's ready to defend Stu being a soup.
Okay.
Wow. And then when I'm listening to Ryan's bullshit, I'm just like,
You guys asked me about it.
You know what I mean?
I value your information, Ryan.
Wow. All right.
No, I meant your bullshit meaning like stew isn't soup. You know what I mean? Anytime you talk about soup, I'm like,
you would be an awful director then.
Yeah, not very good.
Hey,
like, we got the shot, and you just got to act. It's like, oh, while the other person's acting, I'm going to sit in the bottom left.
Hey, I'm about the people.
The last thing I'll say about music, and then we can kind of switch topics, is I think we talked about it last time. FSU is doing their music camps for free.
That's dope. Online, yeah.
So I'm making all of my next year Wind Symphony kids do that.
That's good.
And so that way, like, it's free. You're gonna be home. You know, might as well. So, you know, this COVID thing is terrible, but we're trying to make the best.
Yeah, for sure, man. Oh, show.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got, man. That's kind of consumed my life. I've been on the computer for 8 hours a day the past 3 days.
Well, that's like normal for you though.
No, but like not playing video games.
Oh yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Like being an adult.
Like grading and doing paperwork and sending emails and sending rosters and getting people signed up and
Here's
crazy.
a question. So are your grades finalized?
Yeah, they're done.
So when was your last day of school supposed to be?
Yesterday.
So like even if this was like the regular year, your last day of school would have been yesterday?
Correct.
I thought you guys usually done like in the beginning of June.
That seems super.
Well,
Seems early.
It is May.
I mean, Monday's June.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, technically, Monday is the last teacher work day.
Right.
So the last day for students was today, no matter what.
I remember always ending, and the calendar always shifts just because of hurricane days and whatever other things. But I think all 4 years I was in high school, like June 6th was always the day for some reason, or like somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I had in my head too.
I don't know. The past 5 years I've been in the district has always been like June 2nd or June 1st.
Right.
So
yeah, it's probably like because of leap years or how shit happens and gets laid out.
Yeah,
it shifts every couple of years.
Here's something for us. So, do you guys know when hurricane season starts?
Like next week?
Like now.
June 1. June 1 is the first day of the hurricane season.
Monday.
Yeah. Do you know we've already had 3 named storms?
Yeah.
It's not even fucking hurricane season yet.
I did not know that.
There was the one that was like 3 days. The one that scrubbed the launch. That was like the tip of a storm.
Yeah, on like Wednesday, it was supposed to do the SpaceX launch, but this like storm popped up out of nowhere. We got like the tail end of it, and it scrubbed the launch on Wednesday, and then like there's like a sea storm somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic doing its own fucking thing. Like it's insane, dude.
Yeah, we're just getting attacked from all fronts.
Too many fucking fronts.
I'm not from here. I know you love when I bring that up. I know, I get it. But like
he loves when people aren't from here.
Now, being like a Floridian, did you train to watch hurricanes?
Yeah, it was like a thing. Like in the summers, I would go like in front of Publix. They had a little newspaper from like the news, and it was like the hurricane guide for the year, and they had like little things about like supplies and stuff you need, and there was a map, and you would like plot the coordinates, like the longitude and latitude, and you would fucking like track all the storms and shit, man. It was like a thing. But maybe I was just a nerdy kid, but I'm pretty sure that was a thing.
You also wanted to be a meteorologist.
Of course I did. I still might want to be a meteorologist.
Did you really? I didn't know that about you.
That was my thing. I wanted to be a weatherman. When I was at FSU, I took like a meteorology class.
No way.
Yeah, he's like super knowledgeable about weather.
Yeah, dude, I love weather.
Really?
Like I mean, this isn't a bit like during marching season, especially because we live in Florida and we don't know when it just rains out of nowhere. We have like the radar tracker, and he just like calls storms and knows weather patterns.
That's like super fascinating.
We're going inside at 6:20. Or like I'd be like, all right, 6:45. We're back outside. 6:45, and it's like 5:30. Like, how do you know? Like
this is like when you do like the bullshit get to know you at your first college course. It's like, oh, tell us an interesting fact about yourself. If Chris is like, I'm a music major. Also, I know a lot about the weather.
Very passionate about the weather.
That's insane to me. In all of my years of knowing you, I did not know that.
Yeah, I wanted to be a weatherman, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were talking about this too a little bit back to music. It bums me out that we never got the opportunity because of all this to maybe work out a chance to do like a joint camp for a couple days.
Yeah.
With Jupiter and Astronaut.
You know what, man?
Awesome.
We still could.
Jumping on the Zoom.
If you want to jump in on the Google Classroom, even send your leadership to my leadership camp.
I mean, maybe the only issue is like my kids, they don't have their instruments because they made us collect everything.
Oh.
So like all my school instruments, like in my band room, everything's like locked up. The only thing that I do have is they let me keep my keys, which I guess is nice because there's some band directors in our county that are like how to turn in keys.
Okay.
So I mean, I posted on like they have like a little page or whatever. So I posted on there about like the FSU summer camp, and actually the Seattle Cascades are doing a color guard camp, like a free virtual color guard camp from the fucking Seattle Cascades. So I posted a link to that. Smith and Wahlberg or Smith and Wesson.
Smith and Wesson's a gun.
Walbridge.
That's a gun. Walbridge and
Smith and Walbridge. Yeah, got it.
Walbridge and Cambridge are doing like a leadership camp. I posted it for that.
Cool.
And a couple other, like, I found like universities that were doing like free stuff. So I posted all that stuff. So to kind of let them do it if they want to.
And to be honest, your kid's already in the system, so this was just like a little shift for them. I think the most benefit would come from both bands seeing each other in person and like a real rehearsal. And
right,
you know,
this is just such an anomaly.
If Palm Beach opens back up, man, I think we should still do it.
Yeah, dude.
I think we should figure out some way.
If Palm Beach opens up, Brevard also has to open up.
Right.
It could be
also has to allow.
Oh yeah,
they would let. That's what I'm saying. They wouldn't let kids that are registered in this county go
to another county.
Out of county, yeah.
Well, either way, I think we should do something soon.
Yeah,
I would love that. No, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Do you have a different subject?
I was gonna go back to this tracking thing, but you go ahead.
Do you want to wrap up the weather thing? Because mine is like completely different.
Well, okay, so.
Yeah,
you tracked like storms and like as a Floridian kid, you tracked storms.
I could have been a nerd, but I thought it was something that we did. But
it's like how you would study the subway tracks when you grew up.
Yeah, you know where the J train is.
So anyway, I don't know if Guilherme has ever done this because we're from the Northeast and it snowed, but when I was in elementary school, we used to track the Iditarod.
Really? I never did that.
I did that maybe once. I think I did that as like a class project once, like 6th grade maybe.
Like the race?
The race.
Yeah.
You like in elementary school, they gave you a racer. They're like, your racer is Bill Schwartz. And you had to follow Bill Schwartz on his journey. I was like, oh, let's go, Bill Schwartz. My guy's 14th place. And he just broke his leg, so he's out. So now what do I do?
The Iditarod is brutal. It's like, okay, here, small child, here's a person that might die.
The Iditarod is also one of those things that you learn a lot about as a kid. Maybe not a lot. Maybe when I was coming up, there was just like 2 movies about it. I feel like there's like 2 movies and like a whole lesson on it, like 6th grade geography, and like
never pops up again.
That word until just
now.
It's not
a big part of my life. It's like quicksand. You hear a lot about quicksand, and it doesn't come up in regular life.
I used to track this person. I remember the reason I stopped tracking it. My like the first year I did it, my girl was gonna win. I was like, dude, Marcy, come on, Marcy. Pull it together, and she came in like 3rd, and I got like a cupcake for 3rd or something, which is great. Thanks, Marcy. But like my last year doing it, how long is this race? Like weeks? I don't know, days. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it's like 3 weeks. In like the first leg, my guy broke his leg, and I couldn't participate in the project anymore. I was like, Miss Penna, what do I do? She's like, I don't know. He broke his leg.
Miss Penna?
Miss Penna was my 4th and 5th grade teacher.
Was it Pena?
No, it was Penna.
Oh.
Penna, yeah.
Now, Ryan, before talking about the Northeast, Chris, you're not allowed in this conversation. Please take your headphones out. Did you ever? No, put them back in because I want you to hear this. Well, you couldn't hear me say that. Did you ever have like traditions to try to make it snow, like little things?
Yeah.
Like, it might be snowing this week, and then like all the kids would do like a thing,
like a little,
like, kind of like the equivalent of like a rain dance.
I can't really think of what it was, but yet like everyone. I mean, I remember being a kid, and I'm like half Jewish, and I don't go to church, but I remember I would go like be on my bed and be like, listen, man, if you make this happen for me, I'll do whatever you need. But like there wasn't like a rally cat per se to involve Chris in the conversation to like bring good luck.
I did. So one of the things, I don't know if this will like jog your memory or be like, oh yeah, I did that. There was one thing that around my time was like a big thing, was to take a spoon and put it under your pillow and like sleep with the spoon under your pillow. Now it's supposed to make it snow the next day.
I've heard of that. I've never done that, but I have definitely heard of that. Yes.
I did it multiple times, and I was like, but once it worked. So I was like, oh, this is real. It worked once, and maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe the spoon worked. But it snowed, and I didn't have to do my homework.
And that was I mean, like, kids today, well, it doesn't happen in Florida, Chris. I'm sorry to not involve you again, but it doesn't happen in Florida. But, like, I remember listening to the radio, like, just waiting for my school to be called.
Yeah.
Like, for either 2...
Oh, my God, so good.
And, like, equally the worst feeling of, like, a 2-hour delay. It's like, it snowed and I have to go to school? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and the best was if it snowed, it usually just wasn't one day. If it was schools closed one day, it was usually closed. Depending on how late it was in the week, they might be like, take the rest of the week.
Yeah, or like
Wednesday,
the day off and a 2-hour delay the day after was like,
yeah,
okay, that's fine. I
remember because when I was little, I only lived in Maryland until I was 10. So that's what, 5th grade. So I would go to work with my dad on the weekends at his restaurant, and we would I would sit and listen to the radio or like TV and wait for like my school to come up. But also the superintendent of my county ate there.
Oh.
So cool. Like the owner would sometimes ask, like, school gonna be closed?
That's also another thing that doesn't happen in Florida. Sorry, Chris, to not involve you again, but
that's a good bit, by the way.
But in the Northeast, Chris, this might sound weird to you, but every like county had multiple school districts. At least in New York. So like in New York, I lived in Orange County, but in Orange County there was like 18 school districts.
Where'd you live?
Shut up. So I went to the Monroe-Woodbury Central School District. And in the Monroe-Woodbury Central School District, there was 3 elementary schools, 1 middle school, 1 high school. That was it.
I also, same.
And then next to us was the Warwick Central School District.
Oh, gross.
And in Warwick, they had 2 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school.
So is each high school its own school district?
Each school district had 1 high school, yes.
Yeah, mine. I lived in Perry Hall, which is in Maryland, which is like 30 minutes from Baltimore, or whatever. It's close, and it was Perry Hall Elementary, Perry Hall Middle, Perry Hall High, and you just fed, and they were like all in the same like block. It was one complex, and you just fed into the next one.
Yep. The only difference from us was the elementary schools were a little farther out, and then the middle school and the high school were on the same campus-ish, kind of. To put it in perspective, it would have been like, C-Rod, it would have been like the Jupiter Central School District would be Jupiter Middle School, no, Jupiter L and Jupiter Farms L to Jupiter Middle School to Jupiter High School. And the Palm Beach Gardens Central School District would be Watkins to, what was your elementary school? I don't even remember.
Something Lakes.
Something Lakes to Watkins to Palm Beach Gardens.
I have another northeastern thing that, sorry, Chris, that probably happened to you, Ryan. It was wild. It was, especially living in Florida now. If it got over 95 degrees, cancel school. It's too hot.
That's never happened. No, that's never happened to me.
I had that. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but definitely if it hit 100. If it hit 100, it's like, stop. It's too goddamn hot. Especially because Maryland's on a swamp. It was so muggy.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's ever happened to me because it definitely did not happen when I was in middle school or high school, maybe in elementary school, but...
It happened when I was in elementary school.
Okay,
it's like it's too hot. Not going to school.
I think
it's like melting the pavement.
When it was like too hot, we wouldn't go outside for like recess.
I've had that too, but I think there was, I don't know, something happened where it was like it's too hot. There's no school. Florida's like 115 degrees. Fucking get outside.
What are you doing, Nancy?
And all the schools in Florida are like, well, most of the schools in Florida are outdoors, so it's like going through the Sahara.
That's also another thing that doesn't happen in the Northeast.
Yeah,
the Northeast, everything's indoors
because it's cold.
I thought it was like weird going to like my first, like I have to walk outside to get to the other building. There's buildings.
Yeah, it's like I when I was in elementary because I moved from Brazil before, like I was in pre-K. I was about to go into kindergarten, so I just started kindergarten here, and I was kindergarten the 5th, so I did all of elementary school. And it was like I would walk into the front door, and I would not leave that building until the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
It was crazy. But Chris, you learned like how to run away from gators, right?
Actually, like in elementary school, they would like bring alligators just like as like little demonstrations, like in the cafeteria or something. The guy with alligators, their mouth was taped. And you could like pet it.
Live gators?
Yeah, but like their mouth is taped.
Times have changed, man.
Did you guys have like presentations like during like lunch at elementary school? Like
Yeah.
Our elementary school lunch had like a little stage, and like once in a while like some guy would come in and like, hey, I'm doing a little presentation on something.
I was in choir in 5th grade because you had to do like one thing per grade. Like 5th grade was choir, 4th grade was band, 3rd grade was orchestra. Like you just had your class.
We
sang during lunch.
never had presentations during lunch, and certainly not gators.
Had a couple gators come in during lunch. Had to pet them.
The only presentation
I had to dodge iguanas when I moved to Florida and ride my bike from 5th grade. I had to dodge iguanas.
Iguanas are crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. The only thing that I remember from elementary school being a presentation is Star Lab.
What is that?
What is Star Lab?
That's where
Are you
Barry
guys
Allen
kidding
works.
me?
The Flash.
You don't know what Star Lab is?
Star Labs is where Barry Allen works.
Who's Barry Allen?
The Flash.
The Flash, man. Come on, idiot.
That was Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so Star Lab. You don't know Star Lab, bro?
What? No,
Okay,
Star Lab.
Star Lab.
Familiar, but I think it's because of the Flash.
No, so Star Lab was this gray monstrosity of a thing. It was like a bubble, and they put air into this bubble, and you had to crawl through a tunnel. And in the inside, it was just a bubble.
Thing.
It was just a bubble,
Yeah.
and then they would play, and there would be lights that lit up the bubble, and like stars and stuff. Star Lab.
Do you guys want to know a true story?
I've done that. Yeah, go ahead.
It's like a true story.
Yeah.
I missed that day in school 2 years in a row, and I've never seen that. 2 years in a row, I missed that fucking day in school.
That's so unfortunate.
Second grade and 3rd grade. 2nd grade, I missed a day, and I literally remember being like, "Okay, I'll catch you next year. Catch you next year," because in my school it's like a 2nd and 3rd grade thing, and in 3rd grade, fucking missed that day too. Sick.
We had the it was like I feel like it was that coupled with the what's it called, the Pacer test, the Pacer fitness test. Where you get the
presidential fitness test.
No, it's like the Graham whatever. It's different, I think. And you get the little rolly boards that you always run over your fingers, and you have to fucking climb shit and crawl through things, and those were fun.
I had to like lean and touch my toes in that little box.
Yeah, that's the presidential fitness.
That's the
thing.
presidential one.
I sucked so hard at that, man.
That was
so
tough,
bad.
man.
I could never touch my toes. Yeah, for literally like 3 weeks ago was the first time in my life I ever fucking touched my toes without bending my knees. Like 3 weeks ago. I'm 31 years old. It just happened to me. It's insane. I think I've only ever done like 2 pull-ups in my whole life. I can't do pull-ups. I can't touch my toes. According to the president, I'm not very fit.
Well, also, what president was that? Like, who made that test?
Probably
who made the test?
president. Probably like whoever president like World
Eisenhower.
War II. Probably Eisenhower.
That's like crazy. They still do that. Do they still do that?
I don't think so.
Do they still do that?
I think I read something recently that was like, because Twitter made a joke about it. I think it was like, oh, they're discontinuing this because it's kind of harsh, and Twitter was like, well, I need payment because I went through this and I'm emotionally scarred.
My PE teacher when I was in elementary school, I just remembered this fact. This is insane. This is a true fucking story too. He was my PE teacher in elementary school. Wore a whistle, hat, basketball shorts, ankle socks, the whole fucking shit. When he wasn't PE teaching, he was a part-time clown. I remember the next door neighbor, the Kessels, had a party and they invited a clown, and he was the fucking clown. He was my elementary school PE teacher. I'm like, what are you doing? How is this good for you?
That's awesome.
Fucking clown, man. He came to my house. Not my house, but my neighbor's house. It was insane.
Gross.
I remember in elementary school, the mile run was like the event of the year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you guys, but we also had, whenever there was an Olympics, we did elementary school Olympics.
Oh yeah, we had the
I did that.
Where each class is like given a country, and you have to research the country, and then you participate in the games. And
I won the crab walk.
We had to do a high jump, like where it's at the bar and you jump and you lean over or whatever. Except it's elementary school, so I'm sure that now thinking about it, it feels like the bar was 7 feet high. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 feet tall, but
probably a broom on the floor.
Yeah. It was also like they went and they probably showed a video. 2005, they didn't show any fucking videos. YouTube was just being invented. But they like probably showed an example, whatever, and then just said to small children, okay, do this. And I'm like, I play basketball and I run, whatever now, but I wasn't like an athletic kid. So when they're like, okay, just do this. I'm like, I can't do that. And like, we'll just try. So I just threw myself at this bar. I just like ran and turned around and just hit it full on with the middle of my back, and I was like, okay.
All right, that was fun.
And the same thing is like they're like, oh, 800 meter run. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go.
Yeah, just tell me when to stop, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to sign up for the events that no one else signed up for. So I did like the triple jump.
Yeah, I remember that stuff. I did. We did that when the Olympics were around, and we had to do like the events, but for small kids.
Yeah, the guy judging was like, dude, just take it. You're the only one, and you're doing it wrong. I don't want to sit here, so just take it. Just take it, man.
Was he also a part-time clown?
He might have been, man. It might have been.
We had two elementary PE teachers. A guy who used to play running back in the NFL and a part-time clown. That's Wellington. Let me tell you, that is what it's like growing up in Wellington.
Wait, who was your PE teacher that was a...
He was like on the practice squad for the Jets.
Okay.
Actually. His last name was Ross. I remember he was Coach Ross. And he was like practice squad guy. But I mean, if you're in the league, you're in the league. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that guy had to share an off. Like now that I'm a teacher, I think about shit like that. Like I wonder if we shared a desk with a fucking part-time clown. You know what I mean? We got friends in the fucking NFL. He's like, I'm fucking sitting here across from a fucking part-time fucking clown.
Where did life go wrong?
Florida. Like, where did I go wrong?
He wasn't even good enough to be a full-time clown and quit his PE job.
He was a shitty clown. He was that good. Oh, that sucks.
That's actually hilarious to think about.
It's a true story though, man. I wish I was lying, man. It's not. I'm not. It's a true story.
That's a really good story.
He painted the whole face, had the fucking hair out here, like the whole, like he had hair, like he was bald, but he was like me bald. You know what I mean? Where like he grew hair, he just like shaved it down. But he would like put on the bald cap and the fucking hair and the fucking nose. He had the flower that would squirt you. Like he was really like a cartoon clown, like human. I was like, oh my god. This fucking guy, like, you go run laps.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
Yeah. Jeez, Lou.
I don't know if I would go that like low to be a clown.
Especially not in the same town where I'm teaching. If I'm gonna be a part-time clown,
you think clowns are restricted?
I'm gonna pick two different towns. I'm not gonna clown in Wellington and then teach PE in Wellington.
Clowns are restricted by mere things like borders.
I think if I'm a clown, I gotta go work in Boynton. Let me go clown in Boynton, teach in Wellington, just keep my work life and my clown life separate.
How many jobs do you think he got?
At least one.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a birthday party with a clown.
Are you serious?
Maybe one, but like once in my life. I'm 30 years old. I've been to one party with a clown.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know how much work clowns are getting these days.
Party?
Say it again.
Was it Chris's last birthday party?
It was my 24th birthday party. We had a clown.
Because he's the clown.
I just can't imagine things like clowns. How many gigs are you getting a year?
I read somewhere that clowns make good money. So this guy was not a good clown.
I'm sure they make good money. I'm not talking about the money, but like how many gigs is that? Like realistically, how many gigs?
I mean, are you lucky to get like 1 gig a weekend? Like a gig a weekend?
Well, people have birthdays every day of the week.
Do you think he told his wife like this is my busiest weekend? I'm waiting for July 4th. July 4th is my weekend.
And I'm making it all back.
Now, do you think he was a PE teacher that was also a
part-time that's a good question. That's a good question.
Like, where do you think his head was?
That's a good question.
Let me tell you, I bet he was a clown that used the PE teacher to fucking polish his clowning life.
To pay the bills.
Yeah, I bet.
Clowning's a passion.
I think the only other thing that like gets less gigs is maybe like magicians. Yeah. Are magicians the same thing?
They're called illusionists, Ryan.
I feel like, I don't know. Because you can transfer a magician into a petting zoo real quick, because they'll bring like a rabbit, and all the kids like the rabbit.
Good point. But do clowns bring animals? Like circus animals? No, I mean those are too big.
Do like balloon animals.
Not real.
Yes,
also,
balloon
clowns
animals.
Scare children.
We had a substitute teacher at Palm Beach Central This is a true story too. We had a substitute teacher at Palm Beach Central who would do balloon animals. He would do balloon animals at different restaurants. We'd be out of like, oh my gosh, Mr. G. And he'd be like, hey, what's up, everybody?
He was like a cartoon.
Yes, I did. Look at the sweater. It's a true story, man. He's like, oh, what's up, Mr. G? And like he would come substitute. Like he was like, I don't know why. He wasn't a musician, but he was substitute for band all the time. I think so. We were like, hey, we want him. And I goes, all right, put him in, whatever. And he would like come into class like, hey, what's up, everybody? I brought my bag, and we wouldn't do any lessons. We would just balloon animal. He was just like making shit all day. It was fucking great, man. Mr. G.
Oh, it wasn't. I thought I would have had the same person. I don't think this was balloon animals, but we had a teacher that was like really good at origami. It would make like every kid like a little frog that would jump if he like did the thing.
That's pretty dope.
That was a dope sub.
Yeah.
I didn't have any cool subs. I had zero fun with any substitute teachers.
That's all right, dude. We all couldn't have gone to school in South Florida.
I used to. I don't know if Guilherme. I'm gonna not include Chris again, but did you have like pull out lessons?
Yes.
Yeah. So I used to just tell my teachers all the time because they didn't have the schedule. I used to tell my teachers all the time like, hey, I got lessons. I gotta go.
My teachers pulled me out because I had to take whatever it's called. I think it was called ESOL. I don't know if it still is, but to learn another language, to learn English because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So like first half of kindergarten, I was just like, and then I learned English. And all the kids would make fun of me because I would learn like the translations of stuff, like cinema. I would say cinema and sofa because that was what the little translation. Like we don't have
like movie couch, or couch, right?
Or movie, yeah. And like the little kids would make fun of me, but cinema and sofa is super fucking sophisticated.
Yeah.
My vocab was very good.
Hey, you want to go see a movie? You want to go to the cinema?
See, fancy as fuck. Also, all our music stuff and like fine arts stuff was pull out. So the year we did band, it was, and that's how I played saxophone. Was you have to pick an instrument. Like you spend the whole year trying out. Like 1 week it's clarinet. We're just playing the mouthpiece. We're just putting it together. Now we're holding it. Now we're playing whatever.
Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
Just him, or did we lose all of us?
I mean, I'm talking to you, right?
Yeah. Are we still alive?
Guilherme, are you still there?
Shit. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we lost you for a second.
Shit. Where did my story stop?
To be honest, you would play clarinet.
Saxophone.
Okay, so yeah, so it was like at the end of the year, after you went through all the instruments, whatever, you come on a certain day of the week if you want the instrument. And I forgot, and saxophone was on Friday, and I was like, oh shit. So I went. Like, okay, I'll play this.
Nice.
You know, I
worked out.
I almost my first choice. We got fit in third grade at the end of the year, third grade, to start playing in band fourth and fifth grade.
Same.
So, but
mine was fifth grade.
So you could start on any like band, orchestra, whatever. You had to be in chorus first to third, and then you could switch to band or be in whatever. But blah blah blah. So I got fit. And my first choice was clarinet. And I tried out clarinet and I loved it. And then the guy was like, oh, you could do clarinet or percussion, whichever one you want. I was like, sign me up for clarinet. Put me down for clarinet. And I felt like as soon as I said that, my life went into slow motion. And then, but like my body was in slow motion, but my mind was like seeing into the future. And I saw into the future of me bringing home a clarinet and my brother being like, oh, nice clarinet, pussy. And then like, I'm in high school and I'm just miserable just sitting there with a clarinet. And then like I went to college and I don't play clarinet anymore. And then before he put the pencil to the paper, I was like, you know what? I'll play percussion. That's fine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but now you know that in real music, like what you guys are playing and what we played, the clarinet has really cool music.
Of course, 100%. But like being a kid,
yeah,
like in third grade, like bringing home a clarinet to my big brother was like, I'm not doing that.
I didn't have a brother, and I didn't mind being a loser, or I was just oblivious to it. I felt so cool carrying a case, like a saxophone case. Maybe because also compared to my body, like an alto case when I was little was bigger, so it's like, oh, this is cool. And like carrying like a little clarinet case might look not as cool.
Yeah.
Also, like, this is dope.
Also, there was no like SpongeBob back when I was in elementary school, so like I couldn't even be like, oh, Squidward.
Yeah.
So I
Go ahead.
I literally had to just be like, I had the fear of my brother beating the crap out of me to just like dissuade me.
A pretty good clarinet girl from middle school quit. She was like pretty good, but she would always like stuff her clarinet case in her backpack and just carry it, and it's like all uncomfortable. And then when we got to high school, it was like, oh, why aren't you doing band? She's like, I don't want to carry this around. It's like, I don't want. It's like I don't want to look like a loser. It's like, oh, okay, cool. You were like really good.
And now kids are like,
West Boca band was very good and very not
still uncool. Very good.
Yeah.
Now people are like, kids are dropping because like they want to take ace classes, like not even like not looking cool. They're like, I just like, I'm getting my ace diploma and I don't want to play it. Like, why am I going to play in band if I'm not going to get my ace diploma?
We've talked about this and I think it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's crazy.
Because even if you do like everybody, there is not a single person that goes to a high school that would not enjoy a fine art. There's a person that might find out they can sing. There's a person that might be really good at an instrument, have a talent for it. There's a person who might like acting, or if it's not acting, like being on stage crew and managing and set design, whatever. Like there's everybody on a high school campus has at least one fine art that they can get into that clicks with them. I don't believe there's there's a person out there that's like, I don't like any of these things. I'm not good at any of these things.
I find it weird when kids are not involved in like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I was a college admissions person, that was tough for me to say. If I was a college admissions person, I'd be like, what is this? He literally just sits in his bedroom and does nothing. I think I lost everything.
Okay. We had because we had, for one of the musicals, we had like a football player who was just like not a lead, but he was like a secondary character, and he was like really good, and everybody liked him and like charismatic or whatever. And then we had another football player who like was in charge of stage crew just because he was big and he could like move sets and do all the stuff, and he's just in charge. Like and they loved it, and they were like part of the group.
I always find it curious too to like. Andy Grammer is the second most famous person from Monroe Woodbury High School.
Yep, because number one is.
But like Ryan Ross, but he was in band. Like he did music.
Yeah.
Like I always find it curious to be like, I can't imagine Lil Wayne was in like band or chorus. I can't imagine that like Eminem. Like it's always curious because I see kids from high school that like. You weren't in band. What like? How do you have this musical talent all of a sudden? You weren't in chorus. You weren't in band. You weren't in play. You weren't in drama. You weren't in
because of like the past and of like popular culture and everything. Those portrayed in movies and TV shows. Those things are uncool. Like when we would have the talent show, most of the talents were singing, and there'd be like phenomenal singers. Like why aren't you in chorus or why aren't you doing like anything musically? And they're like, oh, I don't know, or like. The scene girl or like the indie girl, whatever, that just learns guitar with tabs and is really good at singing, really good at playing guitar. It's like, why are you not in chorus or like doing a guitar course or whatever? And they're like, oh, I don't want to. It's like, that's not cool. I'd rather just sing.
Right.
Like I don't want to sing chorus music with like the posture and whatever. And I just want to sing what I like singing. It's like, okay, I get it, but he's like, give it a shot. It's not. And I always hated how like movies made like, oh, marching band.
Yeah.
It's like marching band was so much fun and not at all. I mean, it is nerdy but anything that you're really passionate about, you're nerdy about.
Mm-hmm. American Pie single-handedly ruined marching band and band camps.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, we've all heard the thing. Like every time it's like, oh yeah, I was with band camp or whatever.
Band camp? Yeah.
But it's like. At least my band camps were like beginning of June, and it's like in the sun. And then when we had in the courtyard, because Florida, and when we had band camp week, like the hell week, and it was like 8 to 8 in the sun and doing music and drilling and running and push-ups and it's like everybody's in shape and jacked at the end of marching season, and you're playing music and moving to the beat. It's like that's not. And bullshit that it didn't count as a piece of credit. Sitting there all summer, but whatever. Started to take hope. I should have taken jazz band.
You know, when I think about kids like that like like you were talking about, like the kid that's like the good singer but doesn't want to sign up for chorus or has it whatever. Unpopular opinion, and I'm not gonna get on a little thing here because I could get on a little thing. I 1,000% blame whatever teacher's in that school or whoever that teacher is. Because if you have kids in the school that are willing to sing on a stage in front of people, then what are you doing in your choir classroom to stifle creativity, stifle individualism, stifle love for music, passion, whatever? And while what we do, whether it's concert choir, concert band, marching band, whatever, there are certain things that we have to do that are just regiments. Like you have to sit up straight. You have to, your mouth has to make this sound. You have to do all these, whatever. But at the same time, you can't just keep, beating a horse. At some point, you got to give them a carrot. And so if I have if I have kids in my building that like these types of songs, then why am I going to keep passing out cantatas or Bach chorales or all this stuff? Like maybe you could pass out a pop song or a show tune or something that someone else would like. Same thing goes in our world. I mean, how many kids do we know that quit band because it's just not fun or it's boring or we don't have any fun or whatever? Like, would it kill you to play a song from the radio in the stands? Would it kill you to do like a Pops concert for the spring or something just to give the kids a carrot?
But what about the flip side? What about the people that were never in it? Like I remember like sitting in my 12th grade English class, this kid Tyree, who like I was like kind of friends with, but like only because we were in English together and like we kind of had some of the same friends. And like it came out one day that like, dude, did you hear Tyree's like song? Like he made a song. Did you hear Tyree's song? And it came out to the teacher, and the teacher's like, Tyree, can just sing for us, man, just sing. And me, I was like a senior. I auditioned for music school, so I was just sitting there like, yeah, go ahead, Tyree, go ahead. Let me judge you. Go ahead. And then he was never in chorus, never in band, never in anything. And I went to school with him for 4 years. Got up, probably the best voice I've ever heard. That's not true, but you get what I'm saying. Like phenomenal voice, like it just killed it, absolutely killed it. But like it wasn't a teacher's fault that he wasn't in it. He was just like never in it, and he just like had this talent.
That's what I'm saying.
But so like Ryan, so I know specifically the high school that you went to. I know your band program is very strong. I don't know a lot about your choir program, but I know you're a good singer, so I would imagine your choir program is also fairly strong, and usually with strong one, strong everything. So that might be like a counter example, but like in Jupiter Middle, Paul DeStito's name rings throughout the entire city of Jupiter.
Right.
Everybody in Jupiter. If you're on a baseball field, little league, if you're in the car at McDonald's, if you're at whatever, if you go to Jupiter Middle, you got to be with Mr. DeStito. It's just like a thing. And I think some of these teachers don't have that thing. Their name don't ring through the halls. And now that doesn't happen overnight. If you're a first to a fifth year teacher, you're not going to get that. That's going to take 10, 12, 15 years at a program, but it's going to take consistently having kids with good experiences because these kids talk. And so if there's a kid in your school that doesn't do band or doesn't do choir, but has this crazy talent, then that means the kids at your school aren't talking loud enough about the band or about the fun that they're having. And if they're not talking, so there's some disconnect, whether it's the director telling the kids like, hey, tell your friends that this is fun, tell your parents this is fun, that's okay, or the director needs to go a little bit higher to make it more fun so that the kids do talk. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. That's true.
That's true.
I'm looking at there's counterexamples everywhere. I'm sure there's exceptions.
Yeah, I think there's also, no matter how cool or fun the teacher is, there's just people that are like, I don't like singing show tunes. I'm not going to be in musical theater, even though you could be a lead. And there's not, and people that, yes, you can pass out fun music or that features a soloist or whatever, but there's just kids that aren't going to do that. But like my band director, you both know him, he rarely left the music building.
Right.
But when he did, like football players and everybody's like, oh, they didn't know his name, but it was like, oh, it's the band director. That's like the guy. And he would like walk around and people would just know, be like, oh yeah. And just know.
Yeah. And that's a great example because he's a guy that he wasn't, there's some band directors that to me that are a little too rah, like a little too cheerleadery. And that's not what I want either. I don't need a director that's going to be like super involved and active in like the pep rallies and the freshman orientation, stuff like that. But again, those kids at West Boca had such an experience and were so good and had such an impact on the community and the school that whenever he did leave his office on that rare occasion, everybody just knew who he was, but they knew him because you guys had talked about him or your awards had talked for him. You know what I mean?
And that's what I try to preach to back at Gardens and now to the astronaut kids, it's like once you leave this building, like me and you aren't leaving the building rarely. It's like you guys are the ambassadors in the school and in the community of the program. However, you guys, if you guys act like nerds and you act like dicks or whatever, it's like, oh, band kids are assholes, band kids are weird, whatever. It's like just be normal.
Right.
It's like oh yeah, I'm in band, whatever, got a football game. And then if somebody's like, oh yeah, you're gonna march around with your hat, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
What's gonna happen? Yeah.
It's like whatever. It's just how you carry yourself. And I'm not saying my program didn't have like the weird kids.
Oh yeah, they had weird kids, man.
But it's like you just carry yourself. I mean, even to things like when we had football games, we would dress just like the football team would dress.
Right.
When we had competitions, we would dress just like basketball, whatever they dress before they go to a game. It's like yeah, all black days, the days of competition, days of MPA, whatever. And then and stuff like that. It's like, oh, where are you going? It's like, oh, we have a performance tonight.
Yeah.
And of course there was a kid that was like, oh, making fun. And then all you have to do is not rebuttal, not do anything. It's like, yeah, I got a thing. So whatever. Just make them feel like the asshole for doing that. As long as you don't respond, you're good.
Yeah.
I also feel, I don't know if this is a generational thing. It's kind of a good thing, but I feel like kids today, especially if they get older, like in the high school range.
Podcast again.
I know. But like kids today are way more open and accepting of like kind of stuff than when we were in high school.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the opposite. And I went to high school a little bit after you guys because you're old men.
Wow.
But it was making that transition while I was in high school. Like it's weird to not be accepting and it's weird to be the one that's making fun of people now. I mean, we talked about this with video games the other day. It's like when I was playing video games and I was in middle school and elementary school, I was a loser. But now you go to any high school in America, it's like, oh, you're not playing Fortnite, you're not playing Call of Duty, whatever. What are you, weird? Like shit like that. I mean, we had a kid, a male, who would, and I don't know his orientation now or what it was at the time, but he would do his face, do makeup, and wear heels. And he's just like, and he looked good, and he would like go upstairs and walk around all Canva, whatever, and just owned it. And there would be those assholes who would be like, ooh, and like pointing and laughing, whatever. But there was also the people who would confront them and be like, what are you laughing? There's nothing wrong. Or the people who would confront the assholes are also the ones who would just like the moment he started doing that, didn't mention it. It was just like, okay, it's just like normal. It's like, okay, you're dressing. It's just you're wearing shoes and you're whatever. It's normal.
Yeah.
I feel like that change was happening when I was in high school.
I remember it was like we were kind of good friends in high school. He was like the gay kid.
Yeah.
But like, I knew him through middle school. I went to like his middle school birthday party, whatever. But like when he came out, it was very like, for me, it was just like, dude, that's awesome. Great. But like, it took him years to come out. And then like on the night of prom, like he brought his boyfriend. It was fine. But like now kids are coming out in like middle school. At like it just seems like a more at least welcoming environment. And of course you're gonna have these outliers where of course you're gonna have these outliers. But it just seems like everyone is accepting a little bit more of everything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the world is definitely better, and this is coming from 3 straight men,
right?
So like we're talking, we don't know the other side, but definitely the world is way more accepting than it was even 5 years ago.
Yeah,
which is phenomenal. I mean, it's nowhere near what it needs to be, but it's definitely easier, I feel.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And I've talked about this with Chris. Is like I literally never had an issue with this because my parents had like growing up. It's like tons of gay. I've just been around gay people and like my whole life. Yeah, it's like people I would call like uncle, not like uncle in the way that's like just like a family friend, and would just like hang out. And it was like, oh, that's just my uncle. It's just how he is. He's like he's friends. It's just normal. I don't know why people are making such a big deal about it.
I also think it's a little easier for us to say it. Like, I think we're all very accepting because in our craft and in like I guess just in the activity there, it just happens to be more open. You know what I mean. So like maybe we were just more open to it. I don't know, but
any art form.
Yeah, it just seems like I know the kids at Jupiter are very like, oh, you're in the band, okay, cool. I'm not gonna do band, but like that's cool that you're in the band. That's cool.
Yeah,
right.
But and that's fine. I mean, that's fine.
But before we wrap up, let's talk video games for a second.
Yeah, I've been dying. So just to catch everyone up, we have started a farm in Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley.
It's going great. Chris is super loud.
Okay.
Anna's very good at mining. Guilherme is the fish master, and I just kind of exist on this farm.
Well, now you're gonna get your.
I'm gonna start making my money soon.
What's round 3?
Before we go on to the video game thing you want to know, I want to know, Chris, are you just playing new video games, or are you only playing Stardew?
That's what we're at.
That was a video game.
Okay.
That was
so. I was actually just thinking about this like this week. I have currently right now I have like 4 different farms I'm doing in Stardew. I got my farm on my Xbox.
Go ahead.
I got my farm on my Xbox. I got our farm. I got a farm with my brothers. I got 3 farms. So right now I got 3 farms. I'm cooking it. And if you add up all the farms, my Xbox farm, I'm about 72 hours in or so. I just started year 3.
72 hours? Holy crap.
Those are like video game boy numbers.
That's a big number.
I just started year 3. And in my other farms, I don't know. I think with my brothers, I'm like 10 hours in. I think I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 hours in. I don't know.
That game is also the master of like eating time. Like I also have because this sparked the thing in me, and I was like, oh, let's make another single player farm, try on a new layout. And I look and I'm like, oh, I'm 18 hours into the single player farm.
Yeah.
And it just went like that. Like I didn't even notice it. You play like 6 hours at a time.
So I'm like approximately about 100 hours into this game.
Can you please sit in the middle of the frame, please?
No, I'm gonna be right here. Lower right, baby.
You said you would sit in the middle of the frame when you started talking about something important.
When I get heated.
When he gets amped.
When I get amped up.
This is awful TV production.
I got 100 hours into this farm. I'm really enjoying it. I do need to start another video game to stay on this quest. But I'm not going to drop Stardew. Like I just really like playing Stardew. So right. I think my next game is going to be something probably like a Arkham Knight or an Arkham Asylum or something like that. Because I like Batman, and I dabbled in that a little bit, like on the PS4 or PS3 when I used to have a PS3. So I was like, I might download that one and then give that one a go.
You have all 3 of them.
Yeah,
that's what I said. So Ryan, you know our friend. Sorry, not include you in this, Chris. So you know our friends are video game challenged. Yeah. I'm trying to teach them that you can play various video games at the same time.
You can do more than one.
This is the one. You can very much like one and play. It's like, oh, I'm playing this for like a week straight and playing nothing else. But then it's like, I will continue playing this, but I'm also playing other things.
This is not how I roll, man.
I know.
We all know. We all know, Chris. God bless you.
Right now, Ryan is cooking through the Kingdom Hearts series.
Which, by the way, tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna finish Kingdom Hearts 1.
I'm very excited. I think I'm not streaming until my camera comes in, because I have nothing really to stream right now.
I have questions for you. I want to know about that.
Okay, so for example, my last stream day, I was working through Uncharted. So I just played 4 Uncharted. I did break up with Ori in between. But it was like Uncharted for the most part all the way through. It's 4 different games, but it's like one type of game. They're basically the same, different stories. But like yesterday or the other day, I played Hitman for like 4 hours. And I played Stardew for 6 hours. And then I played, I tried out a couple games that I downloaded from Game Pass. And just like, you can just play even in the same day, but you don't even have to go that far. You could be like, I'm playing Stardew today, I'm playing Overwatch today, or a little bit of each. It's like you don't have to like pick one game. It's like, this is now video game. There's multiple, and you can do both.
Well, I don't do that. I just say, what do I want to play today? And today I want to play Stardew.
No, I get it, because when I fell in love with Stardew for the first time years ago, I played it for like 2 weeks straight probably, and not touch anything else. But I think now it's time to play something else, and also still checking on your farm, because also you're on year 3. You've done a community center. Like now it's just maintaining and going back and doing.
Now the game's over. Yeah.
So now what I'm doing, I'm like fixing the layout.
Right, but that doesn't require like, that's not like, okay, I have this to do tomorrow, I have this to do tomorrow. That's like more like, I'm going to play for a couple hours, do this. Okay, now I'm going to play something else.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So I'm excited for you to play Batman Arkham Knight. Even if it was like a Telltale game, like Batman.
I love the Telltale games. I think the Telltale games are a great introduction to story-based games.
Yeah, I have the 2 Batman ones downloaded. And I also have Fable.
Fable's so good.
But it's coming up like in 2 weeks. Last of Us 2 is coming out, and the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC is dropping. And I think there's one more thing that's coming. Sekiro, not Sekiro. Ghost of Tsushima is coming out in July, and I'm very excited for that because somebody described it as Breath of the Wild meets Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
and my nips were on like a 9.5 out of 10 scale. I'll tell you what. God, I'm so excited to play that game.
That seems dope.
What were your questions, Ryan?
I just want to know what camera you got.
The
920?
922.
Oh, 922. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I found it on eBay. Obviously marked up a little bit because I looked at like Logitech's website. That camera is usually like 99 around there, and I bought it for like 920, 930. Or sorry, 120, 130.
Like, bro, that's marked up a lot.
But also today I went to GameStop. Finally, stuff is opening up. I went to GameStop to see if they had a ring light, and I saw that they had at least a display of a Razer Kiyo, the Razer camera with the light in it. I didn't go through because I already bought it camera, so it doesn't really matter anymore. But I didn't go through asking. It's like, do you have that camera? Or is that just still on the display? Like, we offer this item, but I don't know if they would have it because everything got cleaned out.
Right.
Because of the COVID.
Right. The COVID.
I almost went to Best Buy to see if they had a light, but I ended up not doing that. I didn't want to wait in line.
Crazy.
I think I'm gonna buy the Elgato lights next. I
wanted to. Those are so expensive.
I'm getting moved to the upstairs soon. Like I'm finally gonna have like my own room to do this, so I'm not just like in my fuck damn living room. But I think that's gonna be. I think I'm gonna bring back the green screen and all that stuff.
When are you doing that? Oh yeah, last thing before we wrap up. When are you doing that?
Whenever we get our new couch. We're getting a new couch. We're gonna put this upstairs in the stream room, and then that'll work as like a couch / bed.
Do you have any day? On that?
About a month.
Oh. All right, because I was gonna say, whenever that day is, let me know the day before, and I'll come help you move a couch and set up your setup with you, and then I'll spend a couple days.
I'll let you know because actually, well, to be honest, the couch is in Orlando, so we got to drive to Orlando to get the couch and then drive back. So we'll work it out.
Yeah, and I'll spend a couple days. We'll do co-op streams and I'll help you set up your shit.
I gotta like take everything off the wall and redo it upstairs.
That way you and Kayla have plenty of notice.
Yeah, I love it. You're in, man.
I'll bring my own food.
You're in, bro. You're in.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Any last words from anyone?
No.
Briefly? No, nothing.
I'm good.
How about next week we try and bring on a guest? You want to try our first guest next week?
Yeah, we'll guest you one next week.
I don't know. Let's talk about it later. Let's bring on a guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, wash your hands. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Please, just wear a mask, man. It's not that hard.
Be safe with everything happening.
Just be safe, man. Just be safe. Much love. Thank you for tuning in. We had a high 7 viewers at one point.
Woo.
So we'll be back next week and we'll actually upload a video maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see how that goes.
Upload them both today.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we're out.
Love you guys.
Thank you guys.
Peace out.